So,
Hi, I'm Samantha Tremblett. I'm a senior in the Health Science program here at Ohio State, and today I'm going to be talking about healthcare in Austria versus healthcare here in the United States. So it's hard to talk about both of these countries' healthcare without talking about their healthcare systems. In Austria, we see a public healthcare system with almost 100% of their population being insured, and that can be either with regular health insurance or just accident insurance or a combination of both. In the United States, as we know, we pay for our insurance, and that can happen through your employer. It can happen through a third party, such as Blue Cross and Blue Shield, which is what my family has. And because we are paying for our health care, we do see that lesser amount, as we can see with this graph from Peterson Kaiser, with only about 91 of our population being insured, and that can simply be because people aren't employed and can't afford the insurance, or they can't afford it as is. So between these, we do happen to see Austria having a little bit of advantage with almost their whole population having that coverage. Now, that might also account for the life expectancy differences between these two countries. So in Austria, their average life expectancy is about 80.89 years, whereas in the United States, it is about 78.69 years. Now, in both countries, we do see women are living longer than men, and that can be due to the same factors, such as men are more prone to doing more dangerous things, getting into more accidents, and having more fatal injuries or diseases, whereas women tend to have more chronic diseases and just happen to live a little longer than men. Now, these statistics almost don't make sense when we look at the healthcare spending per country. The United States spends almost twice the amount per person on healthcare than in Austria. And as we know, in comparison to several other countries, the United States spends an obscene amount on healthcare. And when we look at our healthcare spending, we think, well, shouldn't we have better outcomes? And we tend to see this isn't necessarily the case, because even though we're spending more, it's mostly just because these services that we have are so expensive. And it also questions why we're having worse mortality rates than other countries. So when we look at the preventable and annual mortality of these countries, Austria is edging out the United States by a few people. With preventable deaths, their lifestyle factors, there are things such as, you can prevent lung cancer if you just don't smoke to begin with. And our annual deaths, you think kind of medical intervention. So if you get injured in a car crash and are rushed to the hospital and you happen to die on the surgery table, that was a annual death because the doctor or surgeon in charge could have worked to prevent that from happening. And so the United States, unfortunately, they don't show their statistics of preventable deaths, but Austria is still only having 206 per 100,000, which is still decently low. And then, as we can see, between the annual deaths, Austria is having about 101, we're having about 112. So one of the statistics that are almost the same for both countries are our childhood vaccination rates. For Austria, they have about 90% getting the DTP vaccine and about 96% getting the measles vaccine. That kind of flips for the United States, where about 94% are getting the DTP vaccine and 91% are getting the measles vaccine. And seeing what we have seen with kind of the vaccination debate and the whole vaccines causing autism being debunked, but people still not exactly believing it, it's almost surprising that the United States has these high statistics for our vaccination rates. And while it's surprising, it's a good thing to see that people are still getting their children vaccinated. So back to another one of the giant gaps in our healthcare systems. Austria and the United States, while we both have very good air quality when it comes to having the best air quality, we're not doing so good when we look at the worst. So in Austria, in Gippersdorf, they are at an index of 1, whereas in the United States, in King County, California, and Suffolk we're also at an index of 1. 1 is basically the best air quality you can get. You go there, it's all clean air. Now in Austria, the worst air quality is at an index of 89. That's about moderate. It's not the best, not the worst, right there in the middle. Whereas the United States and Rochester, New York, we are at an air quality index of 377. That is hazardous to your health. And as seen with the World Air Quality Index project, this is one of the worst, the absolute worst between both countries, with it being almost 300 points lower than Austria's worst. And so for people who are having respiratory issues, as is, if you walk into Rochester and have asthma and the air is that bad, it's not going to help you. It's only going to make your condition worse the longer you're there. So another one of the gaps we see, whereas we aren't seeing the best health outcomes, the United States weirdly has the most physicians out of the two countries. So Austria has 12,000 primary care physicians, 18,000 specialty care physicians, whereas the United States has 209,000 primary care physicians and 501,296 specialty care physicians. This, like our healthcare spending, seems like an obscene increase in the two countries. But when we look at it, the United States does have a larger population than Austria, so it only makes sense we have more physicians. But at the same time, when we look at the densities, Austria almost has twice the amount for our densities of physicians to citizens for each country. And so while we do have this great amount of physicians, we don't necessarily have enough to support the population we are at. And another one of the gaps we see between Austria and the US are our teen birth rates. So Austria has about 720.8 per 100,000 women, whereas the United States has about 1,880 per 100,000 women, according to the CDC. And this can be accountable by several things. So we do see that more healthcare coverage in Austria, so it's possible that more women are able to get the care that they need to actually prevent these births, whereas in the United States, we have seen the defunding of Planned Parenthood. We do know that there are so many schools in the US that aren't teaching proper contraception, teaching abstinence-only education. So while these numbers might seem a bit disheartening, we do know that there are things we can fix to make the changes that we need. And so throughout, we have talked about how the United States is spending so much more on healthcare. We have so many more healthcare professionals, but yet we're not doing well on almost any measure. And in Austria, they are spending so much less on their healthcare, so much less on so many less physicians, but they're doing better on life expectancy, mortality, air quality, and teen birth rates. And we also see that because of their smaller population, they do have a higher density of physicians per citizen, which means more people are being reached with healthcare, especially because of their public insurance system. And while there are major disparities between both these countries, with the United States not doing so well and Austria obviously doing better, if you average the vaccination rates for both the countries, there's only a 0.5% difference. So yes, we might not be doing great, Australia is better, but we both have pretty high vaccination rates, so we're doing good on that, and there's not that much of a difference, so we're pretty comparable on that measure. So just to end off, we can have major changes in the United States to get where we need to in healthcare. We can shoot for the goals that Austria is succeeding in, and spend less and get more healthcare out to people and help make these incomes better for all.
Can I skip that?
Okay.